Good morning.
Good morning,
All
Pete.
right, thanks. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, oh, I can't hear anybody. What's going on? Sorry for the late start and some technical difficulties, but awesome to see so many people on already this morning. So thanks for joining. We are recording. All right, cool. So first of all, super pumped to be able to host this class for David today. I'm sure a lot of you know David, but he's been a great mentor to mine, as I'm sure he has been to a lot of you all. And yeah, so we're going to do a couple of things today. I don't know if anybody saw on Instagram, but I wanted to kind of take today's call in a little bit of a different direction, but not really still. So we talk a lot about on these calls, FSBOs and expireds and things like that. I'd like to talk a little bit more about follow-up and some of the scripts and some of the dialogues we're using when we're going through our follow-ups. But before we do that, this is DRAD's call, so I want to make sure that we're staying in alignment with that. So I'm going to shoot out a couple of objections. I'd love for someone to either just unmute and just overcome the objection. If we hang around for too long, I'm just going to call on people to overcome it. We'll have a conversation about it, and then we'll jump into some different things. Sound good? Are we awake, guys? We ready to go? Sound good? Ready to go? All right. I
Yes.
love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So first one we're going to throw out there is, we're going to go with a for sale by owner. Yeah, listen, I appreciate the call. Sounds good. I just want to try it on my own for a while.
What's important about trying it on your own?
All right. I
How
heard.
long to try it on your own?
Okay. So we're going to go to Kim and then we'll shoot over to Ashley. Say that again, Kim.
I got you on two things. Yes, I can understand that. How long are you going to wait to try it on your own?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're not in a rush, so we'll probably give it like, at least a month. I think probably closer to 2 months we'll probably give it before we think about, listing with an agent.
Okay, and what is it about that, trying it on your own, that you're looking to achieve?
Yeah, well, listen, we know the market is hot and we're seeing all these properties sell. So, we think we can do it on our own. We probably don't need to pay the extra commission.
So tell me, Peter, when were you looking to get to X location by?
Like I said, we're really not in a rush. If we've already got something lined up in Florida. So if we can get there, ideally before the winter would be great. But if we're here till next year, it's not a problem.
Do you want me to go further?
Well, I didn't hear you close yet, so let's get a close in there.
Okay, so you're a for sale by owner, right?
I am.
Okay, so Peter, may I share something with you?
Sure.
So would it surprise you to know that the national studies show that an unprotected seller sells their property for 10% less and leaves 10% on the table?
I mean, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so why don't we do this? You don't owe me anything and I don't owe you anything, but let me come in and meet with you and show you how I can get your home sold for what market value and perhaps more. Do you have availability today at 4 or tomorrow?
Yeah, today at 4 works.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Good job. Thanks for stepping up.
Good.
Love it. Any feedback for Kim on it, guys?
I would say don't ask for permission, just ask the question.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one thing you kind of set it up a little bit where maybe you could have been a little more direct and just been like, hey, no worries. I'm just going to stop in and just make sure, that you are getting fair market value so that you understand the true value of your home. Is that fair enough? Perfect. It's today at 4, whatever worked best for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good job, Kim. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, Ashley, since you, I think I heard you before. Which one were we doing? Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate it, Ashley, but I want to try it for a little while on my own and just kind of see what we can do on our own.
Okay, and I totally respect that. So what makes you want to sell on your own? What's important? for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't want to pay the commission. I feel like we can do it. So it's like let's just we're just gonna kind of give it on our own and see how it goes.
Okay. And a lot of people can have success selling on their own. Some people don't. I, hope that you do. Just, really quickly, where are you going once you sell this home?
Yeah, we got something in Florida, so we're gonna be heading over to Florida.
Oh, nice. Do you have like new construction or is it already built?
Well, we live in a condo now.
Okay.
We're probably gonna get down there, hang out in the condo for probably a year or two until, things calm down, and then probably look to build a single family.
Okay. And what's important? Like, what do you guys love about Florida? What brings you down to Florida?
Um, just the weather really, I'm just tired of shoveling snow and it's time for us to just kind of chill by the beach as much as we can.
Okay. And so if you don't like shoveling snow, how will that feel if you get stuck in New Jersey for another winter?
I certainly wouldn't be looking forward to that. That is for sure.
Okay. And at the end of the day, like just really quickly, is it more important, how much commission you're saving, or is it how much you net in your pocket at the end of the day?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's part of why we just want to do it on our own because we want to be able to net the most money.
Okay. Did you know that out of people that do for sale by owner, about 86% end up listing with an agent?
Uh, no, I didn't know that. No.
Okay. And did you know that when sellers go for sale by owner, that they tend to leave close to 10 to 12% on the table compared to with a realtor?
Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense, you know.
Right. And say my commission is 6% and you're leaving 12% on the table, you still get an extra 6% at the end of the day. And listen, I don't take every listing. It's not always a right fit. I'm just here to help, people meet their next goals, their home goals. So I would love to just preview your home, take a look at it. If we are a great fit and I can net you more money, even with my commission, great. If not, I can leave you with some tips and, wish you the best of luck if you sell it on your own. Would today at 6 or tomorrow at 12 be good for you?
Yeah, I mean, today at 6, I mean, that would actually work.
Okay, great. I'll email you some information ahead of time. I'll send you my business card over text, and then I'll see you at your house at 6.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, Pete.
All right. Good job, Ashley. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Any feedback for Ashley on that one? And guys, remember, I'm the host now, so I'm seeing
And she
some
did
of
a
these.
really good job.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Susan. I asked a question, then immediately started talking. So it did a really good job. Any other feedback for Ashley?
Yeah,
Yes.
she played with the statistics about the National Association of Realtors that said for sale by owner, 86 for sale by owners end up working with an agent because they are living between 12 and 17% at the table. So that means that you can pay my fee and with that more money in your pocket. That's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Thank you, Mr. Seller.
She
So
brought
today I see you tomorrow at 12.
she brought you back to the pain point about just being there another winter.
Yeah, did a good job touching on the snow remove. I feel like I could feel my back start to tighten up when you were talking about staying for the snow removal. And that's what we want. We want to create that just and not, obviously unnecessary pain or whatever, anything just for the sake of pain, but the reality of their situation and what they could be looking at. So great job on that. Okay. Well, I'm going to throw out another one. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, no, we're selling it on our own. Bring me a buyer. Do you have a buyer who wants to take this one?
Well,
All right.
I don't have a buyer for your house per se, but I know that there's a lot of people that are out there looking right now. And I'm being honest with you, I don't see a whole lot of pictures that are online. So would it be possible for me to stop by and just do a preview and see if I can match you up with one of my buyers?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing an open house this weekend. Can you come by then?
Well, I'd like to stop by when it's not too busy so that I can get a full walkthrough with you. So you can tell me all the wonderful things about your home.
Yeah. I guess
Would
that's fine.
today
I
at
mean,
3 o'clock be fine?
Yeah, today at 3 for you just want to come by and just take a look at the house?
Yeah, and we can sit down and have a conversation after that. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not looking to list with an agent. I mean, if you're gonna bring me a buyer and you're really just coming by to look at buyers, we can I can meet you here. But we're not looking to list with an agent.
And why would you be trying it on your own in a market that is so crazy right now?
I mean, I think that's just it, right? I mean, we're seeing stuff sell left and right, so you know, it's an easy market to sell a home in.
Hmm. No, do you know that homes are sitting on the market more than 56 days right now?
They are?
Yes,
No, I didn't know that.
yes. According to the National Association of Realtors, the market slowed a little bit and homes are sitting on the market more than 24 hours like they were in 2022 and 2021.
Right.
There have been some price reductions at this point, but in some markets they are going 50, 60,000 over asking. How are you marketing your home?
We got it on Zillow and I think my wife threw it up on a Facebook group and we got some stuff like that going on.
And where are you going after you sell your home? And what would that do for your family to get there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really, I just if you have a buyer and you have somebody you want to come in, like
As I
you
said,
can.
I don't have a buyer for your home. I'm being perfectly honest with you. I just want to come by and preview the home and see if there's someone out there that I can try to get in there that would like and appreciate your home the way you have. But I don't have a buyer for your home. So I'm not going to come in on false pretenses and say I have a buyer and I want to bring somebody. I don't. I'm looking to
Gotcha.
preview the house and see if we can have a conversation and perhaps find out more about you and your family as to why you're selling the house and where you want to go.
Yeah, no, I get that. Listen, I guess if you want to come by at 3 and take a look through the house, but like I said, we're not really planning on listing with an agent.
And that's okay. I'll see you then.
Okay, I'll see you at 3.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Susan. Ashley, I see you got your hand raised. Do you have some feedback on that one?
I actually had a different angle I would have taken,
Okay.
as some advice. If anyone has like personal advice, then I can role play after, unless someone else wants to role play since I already.
Okay. Cool. Any feedback for Susan on that one, guys?
Yeah, she would ask, try to, what is your real motivation, and find out, pre-qualify you over the phone, because you said, I don't want to live with an agent. Just for out of curiosity, do you have any remaining balance in your mortgage? Because in that way, I can prepare an sheet for you, and you can see what is the difference. What are you end up in your pocket at the closing table?
Okay, I got you. So maybe just go on a different angle with it where you can actually, maybe instead of like sitting down where they're afraid you're gonna kind of try to get them to list with you, you can just kind of say, hey, I can prepare something of value
That's correct.
that we can sit down. Okay, I like that. I like
I
that.
prepare a report for you, it's free of cost. So at the end of the day, you can keep that information that may help you in the sale of your home moving forward.
Cool. I like that.
Thank you.
All right, Ashley, what were you thinking with this one? And then we'll jump over to Kim. And guys, actually, I'm sorry, real quick. Guys, just remember, cameras got to be on. We're going to give you a 5-minute warning here. Cameras got to be on because we're looking for participation. And,
Is this on Instagram? Instagram Live? Whoever
no,
can-
it's not on Instagram today just because David's on the road. So unfortunately, no.
Okay.
All right,
David
cool.
mentioned it yesterday in Instagram.
Say that again.
David mentioned it yesterday on Instagram on a reel that there was no Instagram today because obviously he's traveling.
Yeah, because he's traveling. All right, cool. Yeah, he's got to live stream the all the sites he's got over going on in Yellowstone and Grand Teton and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right, Ashley, let's jump into it. So, tell me a little bit. What were you thinking of a different direction with this one? You want to role play it?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Listen, I appreciate what you're saying. Just really bring me a buyer on this one. We're not really looking to work with an agent. If you have a buyer, you can come in. But just if you got a buyer, we'll work with you. We'll pay you 2%.
Okay, and I understand that, but would you want me to bring a buyer and then negotiate against you while you're unrepresented?
Well, I mean, I'm representing myself. I feel like I'm a pretty good negotiator.
Right. And, and you totally can be, but do you know the ins and out of all the real estate contracts and laws, any new, especially the new law that was just signed into effect in New Jersey last month?
Yeah, I mean, I have an attorney who's going to look over everything like before we go under contract and all that stuff. So, I mean, I feel pretty comfortable with it.
Okay. Is your attorney a real estate attorney?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I mean, if they're not, I can suggest you some real estate attorneys. I find it very beneficial to use someone that only practices real estate, because you don't want to get stuck with someone who's in litigation in the city until 7, 8 o'clock, and you have a deal, you're home, you want to get to your next chapter, and you're waiting on your attorney. Speaking of which, what are your plans when you sell?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really looking to talk about that right now. I mean, if you got a buyer, you can bring them, but I don't know why that would really be important. So do you have a buyer?
I mean, I only saw a few pictures online, so I would really need to see the inside depending on what it looks like. I may have a buyer. I do cover all of North Jersey. So someone on my team may have someone as well that may not have seen, your listing on Zillow. So, I would love to preview it. I can drop off some information for you on how to get your home sold in this market. Even though it's a seller's market, you still need some strategies to get some exposure and people through your door. Would that be something you'd be okay with if I can stop by? Let's see, today's Friday, this evening around 6 or tomorrow around 12?
And so you just be coming to look at it, like you're just coming to preview it. Like I'm not listing with anybody right now, so I don't want to waste your time coming out and taking a look at this just to try to get
I
me to
understand
list.
you're not looking to list. I mean, I'm just here to help you give information. I'm in the business to help people, whether or not you end up using me or you just use the information I can provide to you, that's fine. But again, I may have a buyer, but because I couldn't see all of the pictures online, I do have a couple very specific buyers. So I really would need to see what it looks like to know if I have a buyer to bring to you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Okay. So does today at 6 or tomorrow at 12 work better for you?
Yeah. Tomorrow at 12 is good.
Okay, sounds good. I'll send you an email with some information. I'll shoot you a text with my business card, and I'm looking forward to meeting you tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Pete.
All right. Good job, Ashley. You guys, any feedback for Ashley on that one?
I can take the brutal honesty. Please give it to me. Don't be shy.
You did a great job. I mean, you keep Pete on the phone, on the line, and you asking the right questions, and you are showing something. Hey, your attorney is gonna be in court all the time, and is gonna have time to deal with you. I mean, with your case. I'm a professional, and I'm dedicated to my real estate career, and I be working for you all the time, representing you.
I love it.
That was good.
And the other great thing is that what I was going to say as well, that she may not have a buyer, but she hasn't seen the property to know if she even has a buyer, to see what she knows what her buyer needs. So just circling back to that, and, thanking them for allowing you to come in. But I think that was good that she circled to that and said that, she has to see the property first.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And the one thing, Ashley, I would say is, how can we shorten some of the language up? How can we because we got to remember, these people, they're getting called a lot. They're hearing a lot of the similar things. So I think David always says, like, if we can, instead of saying blah, 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 if we can just say blah, how can we do that? So I think when somebody asks, like, oh, do you have a buyer? And I would write this down. I would say, I don't know. I haven't seen your home. It's really, it sometimes can be that simple. I don't know. I haven't seen your home. Is today at 6 or tomorrow at 4 better for me to come check it out? Couldn't we just say that? So I think that's something just to take into consideration. I mean, sometimes I think we talk too much and we lose people. We're trying to convince them over the phone. And that's going to bring me into, if anybody saw on Instagram what I had posted yesterday that I kind of wanted to talk about. And I'm sorry, Kim, I know you had your hand raised before. Was there something that you did? I don't want to just overlook that. Is there something you wanted to?
I answered it, when she said, I was gonna say, I work with a lot of buyers, but I haven't seen your home exactly, but Ashley had covered that.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Can I
All
say
right.
something?
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. I had a FSBO and I used that and I said I had a lot of buyers. He said, do you have a particular buyer that's looking to move to Queens, looking for a 2-bedroom? Like he went really specific. And that's when I got caught up, because then he started to say, okay, because I don't have time to show all the agents to preview my home.
Right.
So I didn't know
Right.
what angle to turn.
Yeah,
I
and you know what,
really-
Mr. Seller? That's actually exactly why we should meet. Because if you had a quality agent and someone who could really help you get the most money for your house and take this off of your plate, I mean, you sound like a busy guy. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah. So listen, let's do this. Forget about all the other appointments. Let's meet today at 6 o'clock. I'm going to show you exactly what I do to not only make your life easier, but put more money in your pocket. And then that way we can, once we meet, if it makes sense, great. And we can work on getting that and start saving you some time. So is today at 6 better or tomorrow at 8? Someone like that, someone who's like, I'm too busy. That's exactly why you need me. What are you doing messing around doing this on your own? Listen, I'm too busy too. That's why I hire a handyman to come fix the sink. Yeah, I could do it and it'll take me the whole afternoon, or I could pay somebody to come do it and be done in an hour. Doesn't it make more sense to pay somebody to come do it in an hour and do it the right way the first time? So let's meet today at 6. Cool. All right, cool. So we talked about some of these objections. I want to have more of like an open dialogue. I want to hear some of what you guys are doing. I'd love to hear from some people who maybe haven't chimed in yet. But I saw this statistic this week and it made me really think about some stuff. So does anybody know what percentage of sales convert on the first contact? Like on the first ask? If somebody had to guess, go ahead, throw it in the chat, unmute. If you had to guess, what
1%.
percentage? What was that?
1%.
Close. It's 2%. 2% of sales happen on the first contact. How many of us, if we're being honest with ourselves, are making more than one contact? Hopefully a decent amount, but even if we just called on the second time, that conversion, that number goes up to 3%. The third try goes up to a 5% chance of it converting. Not until the 5th to 12th time do you see an 80% conversion rate. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I see that, I'm just like, oh, like, duh. Like, no wonder I'm not converting FSBOs. No wonder I'm not converting some of these leads. Like, I'm calling once, maybe twice. If I stay diligent enough, maybe 3 times. And that's probably not even in a close enough window, right? So what do you guys do? What have you guys found? Or what do you guys think would be good? So this is a very open dialogue of ensuring that we're following up. And then I guess my second question is, why don't we follow up? And I'm right here with you guys. So I don't want to just sit here and talk at you guys. That's not my goal here. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Like, why do you think we as agents don't follow up as much? Or are we? And what are we doing? How can we improve that? Any thoughts on that, guys?
I'm
I
kind of
mean, I've been, go ahead.
I'm kind of in like a similar boat. I've definitely noticed I didn't do follow-up really much. I would be like, oh, I'm making all my calls, but I wouldn't do the follow-up. And I've started to now change my systems. I've kind of got a good rhythm. I mean, big thing is the CRM you use. Make sure it's one that you're going to use, which I finally started efficiently using mine. I able to like put tasks. So as soon as I call someone, I'll shoot a text. I have templates so I can just click like 3 buttons and it sends after my call if they don't pick up. I have scripts for voicemail depending on why I'm calling. And I just put a task reminder so I get an email whenever it is, I set it 30 minutes before I need to call the person, or email, however I'm contacting them. I've noticed a better response rate since doing that. Crazy how that works. But definitely not at a level where I should be. I feel like a lot of us agents feel like we're doing well, but we don't keep going. I feel like
Right.
we tend to hit like, I did it X amount of times, but you need that 1 or 2 more times that you're just not pushing to.
Yeah. Right. And it's almost like if the goal for us, and Denise, I'll come right back to you because I see you were unmuted there. I think if we can change our mindset from the goal is like, it's about setting expectations where now maybe the goal is not, ooh, get them on the call, get an appointment and convert them, you know, in one call. That'd be great. And it happens sometimes. But I think if the goal is like, okay, how can I call them 5 times at a minimum? Like it's not like the game changes, and now it's not about converting on every single call. It's how can I make sure that I call them a minimum of five times? Denise, did you have something?
Yeah, I was gonna ask her, what CRM do you use? Do you use?
I use Follow Up Boss.
Okay. Yeah, my team, we used to use Follow Up Boss. And also I wanted to say, I don't like to leave voicemails because when they're like, if it's the first time I'm speaking to someone, they haven't heard me, I feel like it's not effective for me. I do know Ricky Carruth, he uses that because he has like his marketing is all over YouTube. He's on TikTok, YouTube, like his markets really well. But I personally, I just feel like the voicemail for me doesn't work for me, especially if I never spoke to them before. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I will rather, I think after I speak to them 2 or 3 times and they know who I am by name, then maybe I'll probably leave a voicemail.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
I
that's
used
just
to
me.
think that way too, because some people would say just, if they don't pick up, then immediately call again. And like, I don't love that. I know it works for some people, but that's just not me. I started leaving voicemails because I started thinking like a consumer. If I get a call from a random number and they don't leave me a voicemail, it's not important. If they leave me a voicemail, I'll check. It may be BS, but it could be important. So I started thinking as a consumer, because if I just get a random call, I'm not calling that number back without knowing who called.
Yeah, and I love D-Rad. You know, his voicemail is, "Hey, this is, you know, Pete over at Keller Williams. I'm calling you about your property. I have a few questions that only you can answer. You know, give me a call back, or I'll be sure to follow up with you later." Right. And then you're setting the expectation of who you are, why you're calling. Like you're not, you know, there's no surprises. So I think that's another approach too. But I also get the not leaving a voicemail sometimes just to save time. But I think that's a preference too. And you play with it. You see what works best for you. And the only way that you're going to find that information out is if you do it consistently, and you test it. Let me just see, entering into the, okay. So we know CRM is one way to do it. So what are we saying when we're doing the follow-ups? Like what are some items of value? And I kind of tease this a little bit um on the Instagram video, but I'm just curious, like what are some of the things, like, because I think that's one thing that I can speak for myself, definitely holds me back a little bit from following up, even with my sphere of influence, following up with past clients, is like, what am I saying? So who's got some stuff that, like, when they're making that second, third, fourth, fifth call, let's just paint this scenario, right? You call them, you know, or you go see them, a for sale by owner at their open house. You meet with them, you know, they told you they're not really ready to do anything just yet. So now your plan is, okay, I did the thing. Now I have to do the things. And so you're going to say, okay, for the next 4 or 5 weeks, at a minimum, I'm going to follow up with them every week on Monday or Sunday evenings. What are you doing to provide value when you call? Who's got some ideas or some thoughts or some things that have worked?
Just check in with them and see how the open house went, and have they called back all the people that came through their open house to make sure that they were qualified, make sure that they were ready, willing, and able buyers, and they just weren't scoping out your house to see how much goods you have in there.
Yep. It can be that simple sometimes. Just call them, hey, how'd the open house go? Are you know, D-Rad says, are you ready to get it on the market yet? I mean, that's definitely a very easy way that you can do it. Anybody have anything else? Ashley, I'm gonna put you on pause for a minute there because this is the Ashley and Pete call.
I think for every hour you're not home, your house is off the market.
Yeah.
So are you going to be ready to put your house in the market instead of being in the background and being a silent listing?
Yeah.
So how can we help you get to the closing table today?
100%. I love it. I love it. And I think it's pronounced Taiki. I'm saying that right?
Yeah.
Hey,
I
what's
was
up?
gonna I was gonna say I called somebody yesterday that I spoke to, and it was a supermarket advertisement that I had in the supermarket, and they told me that they got my card from the supermarket. And when I spoke to them yesterday, they was looking for something specific. The guy, he said that they was actually newlyweds and that they both had good jobs. And he said they was like looking for something like that between a range of 300,000 to 400,000. And for a multifamily, it would be like in the range of 600,000 and 600,000 range for the multifamily. And then
Okay.
he was said they will also be interested in looking for like a rental for like $2,500, $2,500 with the option to rent one
Oh,
year. But he said also mentioned it'd be like a 1 year lease because they didn't want to waste any time renting. And it
okay.
sound like they are interested in actually purchasing as soon as possible on it.
Okay.
But that one. I
So
didn't
that's
make any kind of phone. I don't know anything about cold calling. I never know how to make any kind of phone calls. I don't know how to get people's phone numbers. But that person actually contacted me from something that I had in the supermarket.
gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. So, I mean, when it comes to things like that, I mean, it's just, simple discovery and, that's great that you got a lead. I mean, that's awesome. And then, being able to follow up with them on a weekly basis, or however their timeline is definitely going to be important on
Yeah.
that. Tanae, is it Tanae?
Okay.
Yep, you got it, Pete.
Hey,
Hi.
Tanae, what's going on?
I have a question for the group. So I have trouble with, well, for one, I just want to piggyback off what Ashley said. For me, too, it's the organization, it's getting a system in place, especially as a dual agent, trying to balance everything. So getting that system in place to be able to make them follow-up calls is what I've been struggling with and I'm trying to get better at. But also, I've been doing a lot of open houses to generate leads and, with the new laws changing and everything, but I still get some people who come unrepresented. So you get that
Okay.
information, you follow up with them. Hey, I met you at the open house, blah, blah, blah. And then they kind of either go radio silent or, you don't hear from them for a while. Anybody have any advice on like how you follow up with those leads? How often, how frequently? I know those usually take a while because some people are just looking, they're not ready to buy right away. So I'm just trying to find a sweet spot, so to speak, on how to manage those.
So I hear D-Rad in the back of my head saying this is a seller focused call, right? So but D-Rad's not here, so let's play around a little bit. I think one thing that I realized yesterday, or kind of thought of yesterday, which is kind of what I teased on Instagram, is, I'll give an example. So I have a client who was looking, a seller and a buyer, and she was looking for a while, and then she had a baby. And then, she's kind of gone silent, and I'm like, okay, I haven't really reached out to her in a little bit, and I want to continue to build rapport. Well, as someone who is a male, doesn't have kids, it was like, how do I not that I don't know, but there's like a little insecurity there where I'm like, okay, well, how do I talk to somebody who I don't really know? Like, it could be anything, right? Maybe they're into gaming and you're not really into gaming or something like that, right? So I was just like, hey, let me just use my friend Chat GPT. And I literally just went in there and I was like, hey, as a male real estate agent who has a female client who just had a baby, what are some things that I could talk about to break the ice that show that I care, but are not too intrusive, right? I don't want to, overstep on anything. So, and it just gave me a couple of ideas. So I think we really have to, if we can use that, right? So you can literally go to Chat GPT right now. And so you did the open house. And do you know anything about the buyers? Like, did you kind of chalk up any conversation or start up any conversation that you kind of know about them a little bit? Like, what's something about them that
Yeah.
you?
So yeah, usually if we're touring them around, finding out if they're in the area, bring their family, so you get an idea of like husband, wife, single, things like that. How soon they're looking to buy, maybe sometimes what their budget is, but it's pretty surface stuff. Nothing deep, but definitely something you can, I guess, kickstart a conversation on.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess maybe that's like, if you don't really have much about them, maybe you're just kind of going with like your traditional stuff, but who's got some follow-up stuff, things that have worked? Like what I think one of the best things you can do is think of what are the questions you get asked all the time and just write that down and then just craft some follow-up stuff around that. Ashley, what do you got?
I would say try, like, when you're trying to convert, make it less about you and more about them. Like, if they're a seller that also has to buy, did you meet them at an open house, or did they disclose where they're moving? If they're local, send them, be like, hey, I saw this property come on in an area you like. Would you want to go see it? Or, whatever it may be, like, give them value of some kind, whether it's personal, professional, provide with some value that you care about them, you want to help them or know about them, and less about what I can do for you.
David, what do you
Most of
got?
these people,
Oh, sorry, Susan.
most of these people do sign in. I mean, I use the computer to have them sign in that will redline you if it's the wrong information. So when I'm standing over there, I say, please give me the proper information so that I can pleasantly persist you. And then I do follow up with in the afternoon on that program with, thank you for coming to the open house. I see that you put down some information, and I see that you do have a house to sell. So why don't we get together this week and see if, I can stop by your house and go over that. Do you have to sell your house before you can buy? These are the questions that I always ask when going through a house with someone, if it's not too busy. But I always say to them, let's catch up this evening. And I always follow up with a phone call, a text, or something.
Love it. Love it.
I have converted quite a few from open houses to listings and sales.
Yeah, open houses can be.
You have to use that line. I just want to be pleasantly persistent.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That made me chuckle. David, what you got, brother? Love the Yankee hat, dude.
Yeah, no, it's Yankee hat day kind of day. So today, one thing that I would recommend is, like, you've got a great tech person in your market center, and I sat with her because we have a buyer that sync lead program, and I set up a campaign, right? So a way to be pleasantly persistent is, you make your calls, but you set up like a little short, smart plan, right? That follows up with them. So the way you're being pleasantly persistent is like they get an email, maybe they get a text, and then things that you would talk about with them or can talk about them when you call them back is like, hey, do you have a preferred lender that you work with? What's your budget? Have you already gotten pre-qualified? And then these are things that you can follow up with and talk to them about. And then when you use the tech, you kind of get an idea of who's more interested and who's more motivated and who's more ready to go, and who do you need to like nurture longer, and who do you need to focus on. So that's one thing that I found helpful. But again, all of these lead generation things I feel they're like the long game. And the other thing about follow-up, Pete, since it's not a buyer's agency call, it's about, our follow-up is what you asked about. One thing that I'm not doing, and I think when I get off this call, I'm going to do it. David has been telling me since push about his folder, 31 days. And like, you sit at your desk and you put the sheets in the folder. And when you sit down at your desk the next morning, you know exactly who you're calling, and you have notes from what you talked about the last time you spoke to them. So that's something that I have not been doing that I want to put into place, because it's great to have, like, if you're a tech person like Ashley and you've got follow-up boss, like, but I'll have that and I just won't do the tasks, right? So I think it's, for me, that folder may be the answer. So that's going to be my goal. That's something that I'm not doing that I need to do.
Yeah, I have follow-up boss and I have about 300 overdue tasks. So I'm with you on that, man.
What is that?
Follow-up boss is it's just a CRM. It's like a command. It's like just it's a program that allows you to kind of house information and schedule follow-ups and stuff. Um, something too that I think like I did want to touch on in this call is we talk about scripts and dialogues a lot with our for sale by owners, our cold leads, and things like that. Recently, I've had some, aside from FSBOs and stuff like that, I'm just going to share. I've got couple of things that I've been focusing on lately. One of them is a script I realized. So let me ask you, I mean, you're out somewhere, you're maybe at a bar, you're at a friend's barbecue, you're talking to somebody, you have a good conversation. Are you being intentional about getting their information so that way you can follow up with them? So does anybody have a script or something that anyone kind of feel like hey, I'm actually great when I'm having a conversation. I always go for the close. Anybody here have anything that they could share that they always do or anything? Does this resonate with anybody in that situation?
Can I have your cell phone number so I can send you my Blink card?
I do the same thing, Pete. I have the QR code on my phone for my Blink card, and I have this whole spiel, right? Because I say, hey, can you scan my Blink card and save my contact? And once you save my contact, it's going to ask you to send me your contacts. And then I start telling them about why I love the Blink card, because usually in the past, I've given people my cards, like I never hear from them again, so I can't connect with them. So like this way, like I have your contact information, you have my contact information. And I think what works best is like I go right home and I take that contact information that I got from the Blink card and I put it right into my CRM. I put them on like a 12-month and a quarterly call plan, and now they're in there. So that's been working, and I make it a goal to like make sure I come home. I know that David throws that number 20 around, like 20 contacts a day. I have not done 20 contacts in a day to date, but I try to make sure like there's new people from my Blink business card every day, and then they go into my command.
Cool. I love that. Yeah, we have to make sure that we're capturing the information, not just handing out cards, because that's not really going to help us because we can't follow up with them. So once I worked with my coach on this, and once he shared this with me, it kind of like blew my mind because I realized over the 9 years I've been in business, I've been probably, standing right next to potential business opportunities that I just let go. So what we kind of talked about was just like, hey, okay, say you have David, just do me a favor, just like unmute real quick. Let's just kind of role play this a little bit. And let's just say we were at a bar. We don't know each other. We're meeting for the first time. And, we have a good conversation. I find out a little bit about you. You live in town. Everything's cool. You come here sometimes. And we've already talked about it. You know that I'm a realtor. So I'm just going to say something like this, like, hey, David, listen, man, it's been cool, like chatting with you. I'm curious, obviously I said I'm in real estate. Like, do you have anybody who's like keeping you up to date with what's going on in the market and like your home's value and stuff like that?
Actually, no, Pete. I really, I mean, I'm always looking at listings, but I don't have an agent that I talk to. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. No worries. Well, listen, I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but I'd love to just keep you up to date with what's going on. And then if sometime down the road, you or someone needs something in the real estate world, I'd love to be a resource. So what's the best cell phone number for you?
555-1212 is my cell. And let me give you my email address because I got a bunch of coworkers, we're always talking about real estate. So it'd be great to have that information to share with them. It's Dave Gossett at kw.com.
Yeah. And I don't know that people will always volunteer their email like that, but like if you just say, hey, perfect. And how do you spell your first name?
David,
Perfect. What's your last name? Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry. I jumped out. No. I got you. And so like, I think these are huge opportunities that we are missing every single day. And if we can learn to capture these, I can tell you that since I turned that radar on, I've already cultivated probably like 5 or 6 decent leads in an area that I want to work with people that I want to work with. So listen, I'm all for FSBOs and expireds, and I think that they're a great way to do it. But what are some other things that we can be doing to our database and to our people and when we're out and about? And I think it's just having the script to have that, to feel confident to ask for that information. Any other thoughts or anything around that, guys?
I think another opportunity that is like maybe less direct would be social media. Like if you met them at a bar or a brewery or something, you already have a common interest. So you could always just say like, hey, let me add you to social media. And then you could always just like follow up with them that way.
Yep, social media is, yeah, definitely a great way to do it. I think it's, I've been really focusing, and this isn't, to take away from the FSBOs and expires. That's the point of this call. But really focusing on like when I am in certain situations of making sure that I'm making a concerted effort to let them know I'm in real estate and let them know that I can help them and ask for their information. Social media, excuse me, is a great way to do it. Another example is just, we were with friends this weekend. It was funny. I went to an open house, hosted an open house, had some decent leads, and we know how that works, right? We gotta create value, cultivate the relationship and trust and all that stuff. And then later that day, I went out to, the Lodi Italian Festival with, my wife's family and met somebody who, the open house, albeit it was a lower price point. So, 400,000 first time home buyers, like really tough in this market. I went out with my friend, my cousin friend, met somebody who's $700,000 to $900,000 budget who doesn't have an agent, wants to work with us. So it's like, you never know where these opportunities are going to come from. And it's great to have like the consistent calls and follows in the morning. Like that's super important. But at the same time, are we walking right past opportunities in our day-to-day life because we're not tuning into it and we're not doing that extra effort to ask for the phone, to ask for the contact information, to ask if they have somebody, and also asking, hey, I think that's the most important thing is, hey, do you have somebody keeping you up to date? Because listen, you think you have a lead, but their brother is in real estate and they're never going to use you. Don't waste your time. Don't trick yourself on that. Denise, did you have something?
Yeah, two things. Well, yeah, I have two objections that I wanted to ask how to go about it. So the first objection would
Let's do
be
it.
what is it? Oh, it's okay if my property sits on the market past December. Let's say they've been on the market for like 50 days and we're September. And they said, oh, it can go past December. It's okay because I still have other properties that I can sell. Or what's a good common objection? I mean, way to say, I know we could say the interest rates, but if they don't really have like no diehard situation, you know, and they're just sitting there, they don't care, what could be a good angle for that? And also about the family that has two family members they know that's real estate. Two of those are the two.
All right. Who wants to step up? What's up, Pam? I see you there. Pam. Pam, listen, I don't really care. Been on the market for a little while here. Like, I'm not really worried if this thing sells past December.
Oh, I was gonna comment on the other one with the family members.
Okay. Yeah, listen, I got two family members. If I were going to list my house, I would work with them.
So why haven't you listed with them yet?
Well, there's two of them, so we got to kind of decide which one. And so we're just going to try and do it on our own, and then we don't have to really worry about that.
Are they local to the area?
Yeah, they can handle it. Yeah, they're close. They're not, they could do it. Yeah.
I'm still curious why you haven't pulled the trigger yet, though. I mean, if it's important for you to sell your house, then what's your reason for kind of dragging your feet?
Well, we don't know which one we would use. And so if we use one, we kind of offend the other one. So we got to kind of figure that out.
I see. And either way, are you willing to put your relationship with your family on the line if something goes wrong with selling your house?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're kind of doing it right now on our own. We're trying to just have to avoid all of that altogether. So,
but you're giving yourself so much more work. I mean, you have to constantly be there. You have to, field appointments, take phone calls. I mean, wouldn't you want that all off of your plate? I mean, it seems like you're pretty busy.
yeah, I mean, it would be nice. It would be nice.
Well, would you want to get together and see the stuff I offer in order to expedite you selling your house and putting less stress on you and your family so you can get to where you're going?
You know what, Pam? You sound nice. Let's do that.
Well, thank you. I try to sound nice. Um,
No, thanks so much.
how
Seriously, I
is
know I kind of picked on you on that one.
yeah, no worries.
Yeah, no, but I think that's good. And I think it's like, right, when if they have two family members, that could be a really, really part of why they're not choosing one. So I would just say maybe in that situation, maybe you can kind of get in there a little bit more and say, listen, well, I've got a great solution that you can either offend none of them or both of them, and you don't have to worry about choosing sides. We have a great reputation here. We can get your home sold. And, I'd love to meet with you. So is today at 6 or tomorrow at 8 better? Let's talk about it. Let's see how we can figure out a way where we, don't have to worry about that. And then, I don't know, for the one that's on the market past December, like, Tanae, you got something?
In regards to that one, I was gonna take a stab at it.
Yeah, let's go for it. Denise, you want to be the seller?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I guess ring. So I'm just gonna go to it. Yeah, if we don't sell, I mean, it's no big deal. I have other property that I can move to. I mean, me and my husband, we have an apartment that we can go if it sell, if it doesn't, not a big deal.
Okay, so how long has the property been on the market now? It's been about 60 days now.
Yeah, something about that.
Okay. And so what do you think happens to a property when it sits on the market for that long of a time or longer?
I mean, it don't sell, I guess. But like I
Yeah.
said, it's not a big deal.
So if you really, statistics shows that the longer the house sits on the market, the less attractive it becomes to buyers. They're going to think that something's wrong with it, because why would a home be on the market for 60, 90, 100 plus days and essentially become stale? So if your goal is to ultimately sell the home, wouldn't you want to get it off the market quicker and for market value? Because you also run the risk of getting a lower offer the longer it sits on the market.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but we haven't gotten any good offers, so we're waiting to get that sweet spot number, So if we don't get what we want that we're asking, then it is what it is.
So, have you had any offers?
We did. We had some offers, but it is not the sweet spot we're looking for. We wanted that asking.
I see. Okay, in order for me to be able to better assess your home and see, and so let me just backtrack. I'm sorry, you wanted it asking, but what you really want and what the consumer is willing to pay is what market value is. So we need to understand if what you're asking aligns with what the market is saying. And I would love to help you in trying to understand that. And the best way I can do that is by meeting with you and your husband, having a 20-minute call, talk to you guys about what's happening in the market right now, so we can see if your property is priced accordingly, because that could be the reason why it hasn't sold. So then that'll better educate you so you can understand if you are, pricing your home in what we call la la land, or if it's realistically priced. So how about you and I meet today at 12 or tomorrow at 6 so we can discuss this further? What time works best for you?
I mean, I guess it's okay. You could probably take a look. I believe we got in a sweet spot. I guess I got it. You can follow up with me.
Okay, listen, there's no commitment here. I just really want to sit down, talk with you and your husband. We're not committing to anything, but I think this would help you guys get your home sold quicker because, knowledge is power. And I feel that I can help give you some of that information that can help you get the home sold.
Okay. All right. It's a deal.
Okay, so today at 12 or tomorrow at 6?
We could try today at 12.
Okay, great. And all decision makers will be home, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll see you then. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, nice job. Nice job. I love the La La Land reference. That's a good one. That's a
That
good
could
one.
probably offend someone, but just let
Well,
you know. La La
that's
Land.
from our push. That's from our
It's
push
from
training.
the listing presentation and push. Yeah.
Yes,
So and
Oh.
maybe so yeah, it could be, you know, could go either way. But I mean, I
Yeah.
think my question is like, someone's sitting with their home on the market in 60 days. Are you really worried about offending them? Like, what is their motivation on this house? That's the
Mhm.
only thing I felt like maybe you could have dug in a little bit deeper
Yes.
on, because I don't know, man. Like, for me, this is me. You don't have to take what I say for anything, but man, when it comes to somebody who's sitting on the market for 60 days, wants it on their sweet spot, getting other offers that are below, like, go find a better lead. Go find a
Mhm.
better opportunity. Like, sure,
Mhm.
follow up with them, check in with them, provide value if you can, let them know what's selling in the neighborhood if you want, if it's like maybe a neighborhood you really want to be in or a house that you really want to be in. But man, I think you see somebody on the market for 60 days getting an offer they're not happy with. Like, to me, I'd rather go find another lead that is going to, you know, listen to what I have to say, actually be motivated, and not try to force something, you know, square peg round hole. If this person
I agree.
really, you know, if in this market, if you can't sell your home and you're on the market for 60 days, it's not me, it's you. Like, you
Mhm.
know? So,
Mhm.
but all
And
right,
Pete,
cool, guys.
I thought about motivation, but as she kept saying, "Oh, we don't care. We could be here forever," I'm like, they really don't have any motivation.
Right.
That's what
Right.
it felt like to me.
I'm with you. And I don't think you can help somebody who doesn't have motivation to do something, no matter what it is. Right. So,
Yep.
all right, guys. Well, I mean, we started a little late, so I figured we go till 9:35. But any closing thoughts? Anything? Did you find this helpful? Was this good conversation? You want more of something else? Any feedback is definitely great. But any parting thoughts on the way out here, guys, before we get
I was
out
gonna,
with our Friday?
I was gonna say, I seen a realtor. This was a realtor, and I went to this sheriff's auction at the courthouse, and he purchased this property. He had the highest bid on it, and the property that he purchased when he got the sheriff's sale deed on it. And then went back and checked, and I seen that he put that same house on the market, and it sat on the market for 82 days. And it stayed on there. When I checked it again, it said the listing was expired on it. And then the listing agent, the name on the for sale sign, her name was coming up as the owner, and it was on it, and her name and her address was on the tax record, like as though she was the owner. And he was the person that actually went to the sheriff's sale and bid on the property. And it sat on the market for 82 days, and then it went expired. When I went and drove back by there, they still had the sign on the property even though it had expired. And now
Right.
when I go back by there, they took the sign up. So it's in I went through the backyard, the sign they put it in the backyard. It's just landing on the ground.
Yeah, listen,
And
I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing you there, Taiki, but if you know, you want to hit me up, you know, shoot me a text. I'd be happy to help you with anything I can. All right, guys. Well, listen, it is 9:35, so we're gonna call it. I hope you guys enjoyed the call. Thanks for all the
Do you have
participation. Have an amazing Friday. What's that, Denise?
do you have a contact info, like an Instagram, if you're open to be reached?
Yeah, for sure. I am the Real Estate Pete on Instagram. So feel free to look me up there. Pete Kopech, the Real Estate Pete on
Can you
Instagram. That's
put
probably
in the
the
chat,
easiest way.
please?
Yeah. No
Thank
worries.
you. And will
Yep.
I'll try to
will you get
search
this
it.
recording? This recording?
I believe, yeah, so we did record it. So yeah, that should be going out to everybody. So I'm not sure when or how. But so
I'll get
that
with David.
I was gonna say, reach out to D-Rad. He'll get you the call for sure. I'm sure it'll come through, and it's like weekly thing, and when he sends it. So, guys, great call today. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had some fun. Looking forward to seeing you guys on these calls again, and enjoy your Friday, your weekend. Go crush it. Get your follow-up plans. Go call your people. Don't overthink it, and let go of those time wasters, man. Move on. Find a better lead. Let's get it.
Okay. I follow the Instagram after.
All right, sounds good, Techie. Enjoy your day,
Okay.
guys.
Okay.